This is very rare attack. A diver is being mauled by shark in Israel. Let's get into the story.
Okay, let's get straight into it today. We're looking at something pretty shocking, a reported shark attack off the coast of Israel.
Yeah, it's definitely got a lot of attention. I mean, the Mediterranean isn't the first place you think of for this kind of event.
Exactly. So we've gathered some news reports, eyewitness stuff, official statements, trying to piece together what actually happened there off Hadera near Olga Beach.
And it's quite a situation. Seems it involved a swimmer initially, but then there were reports, quite alarming ones, about a potential threat to a rescue diver, too.
Right, and some footage even surfaced on social media, showing the early moments, and there was talk of a diver possibly missing, feared lost.
That was the initial, very concerning report, yes, connected to the attack on the swimmer.
Okay, so let's trace the events. From what we understand, a shark was seen first, quite near the shore.
Apparently so, yes. Here's some people paddling. And, reactions were mixed. Some people reportedly got out of the water fast.
But others didn't.
Seems that way. And then, tragically, it sounds like the shark moved further out. And that's when the attack on the swimmer occurred.
We saw an eyewitness account, really chilling, describing the swimmer shouting, "I'm bitten," waving their hands.
And then disappearing after the shark was sighted near them. It's just horrible to imagine.
Absolutely. And then the report about the rescue diver potentially being targeted adds another layer of, well, just how aggressive this encounter might have been.
It really does. It suggests a very unusual level of interaction.
So the response on the ground beach closed immediately.
Straight away, big search operation kicked off. Police, emergency services, even helicopters and jet skis involved. A major deployment.
Paints a picture of, urgent and serious concern.
Which is understandable, especially given how rare these attacks are there.
Right, let's underscore that. Shark attacks in the Med, especially near Israel, are not common at all.
Extremely rare. You get dusky sharks, sandbar sharks, usually between November and May, but they're generally not considered a danger to people.
So this is a real anomaly. But then there's this other angle. Something about prior warnings.
Ah, yes, the Society for the Protection of Nature in Israel. They had apparently raised concerns before.
About what specifically?
About sharks, and rays too, gathering near the warm water discharges from power stations, particularly in winter.
Okay, wait, so the power plants are putting out warm water, and that's drawing the sharks in, like an artificial hotspot.
That seems to be the idea. The warmer water attracts them, maybe concentrates food sources, we don't know for sure, but it creates these gatherings.
And the society was worried because you've got sharks and people potentially closer together.
Exactly that. Their concern was about this predictable gathering happening near human activity zones without, perhaps, enough safety measures or regulations in place. They saw a potential risk.
So this terrible incident, while rare, might be linked to these sort of human-caused environmental changes.
It's certainly a possibility that needs to be considered. It highlights how altering marine environments can, sometimes, lead to unexpected wildlife behavior and interactions.
Understandably, the authorities have told people to stay out of the water, be vigilant.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A necessary precaution. And it's important to note, as far as the reports we've seen go, no casualties had actually been located or confirmed at that point.
Right. So putting it all together, a very rare, tragic attack in an unusual spot. A rapid, large-scale emergency response.
And this underlying context of sharks possibly being drawn closer to shore by factors like warm water discharge, something conservation groups had already flagged as a potential issue.
So to recap the key points for everyone, we've got this shocking shark incident, the immediate search and beach closures, and this really interesting potential link to the power plant outflows attracting sharks.
Which really brings us to a final thought, doesn't it? Something maybe for our listeners to ponder.
Go ahead.
Well, given just how incredibly rare attacks like this are in that part of the world, but also considering those prior warnings about sharks gathering near these man-made hotspots, what does this event suggest about our wider relationship with marine environments, especially where our activities might be concentrating wildlife in unusual ways?
That's a heavy question. What are the broader implications when we inadvertently change where wildlife congregates? Definitely something to think about.
Comment your thoughts on this horror attack. Thanks.